After the Pax Romana, the population of Rome saw a sharp decline. This is mainly due to plague and the poor economic conditions. The sharp decline in population also had other effects on the Roman Empire. With a diminished population to draw from, recruits to the army were tight. The army was small and needed more soldiers to fend off the attacks of the Huns and the invading Germanic tribesmen. To maintain what lands they already had, the Western Roman army decided to recruit the help of some allied nomadic German tribes to fight in wars temporarily before returning to their homeland. These troops were called the Foederati. This was a good fix temporarily, but didn't work out well in the long run. First of all, the Germanic tribesmen were loyal to their own chiefs for the most part, who took commands from Roman officers. To take precautions, there were several genocides of Gothic soldiers who Romans suspected might plan an uprising. This might have been good for the army to rid itself of possible traitors, but it came at a bad time when the West really needed soldiers to fight off other armies. Secondly, barbarization of the army is a bad idea if you don't have the money to train the soldiers. The Romans tended to use tight formations in organized fighting, while the Germanic tribesmen fought more freely and with less formation. Rome ended up with a terrible combination of freer fighting and organized formations. The army continued losing battles, and slowly the territory of the empire dwindled. Since the army failed to protect its citizens, no one wanted to participate in it. The army got so desperate for members that it started drafting people. At first, citizens avoided being drafted by mutilating themselves, but even then the army still drafted them. In the end, the army was largely composed of untrained tribesmen, unhappy Romans, and people with disabilities due to their mutilation. Connections. Although the fall of the Western Roman Empire was unique in some ways, other empires fell for the same reasons. China, for example, also had a depopulation problem. Also, during the Han rule, the core of the empire was weakened by succession disputes, and members of government being less loyal to the emperor. This happened in Rome too, with the constant assassinations and inconsistent leaders. The core was weakened under the dispute. Persia also fell for similar reasons. The Persians spent their time and money fighting off invaders and not on producing food. When the empire needed money for resources, it raised taxes and devalued its money. This leads to rebellions and the economy crashing, and once again the empire needed money. The Romans were cursed with the same terrible cycle. In the end, all three of these empires collapsed under their own internal pressures of civil war, political unrest, and economic failure. These reasons, combined with outside threats, have shown that they can take down an entire empire.